What's up everyone, how's it going? So obviously with the near release of Jedi Fallen Order, which does release on Friday, there isn't too much news to go over regarding Battlefront, as the devs have mainly been talking about their new Star Wars game, which does make sense. Which, by the way, you are actually able to start preloading the game starting today. So if you were one of those that did pre-order it, be sure and do that so you can play it as soon as possible. But there are still some things to talk about regarding the Battlefront 2 community. These include some changes to the UI on your screen, as well as what the developers think plan-wise on Mandalorian content. So let's jump right into the first part of the news, and this actually comes from a Reddit post, and he posts saying, "Isn't it sad that the Rise of Skywalker content will be blocked from these badly designed UI?" And he posts a screenshot of a Clone Wars match in Capital Supremacy, and I do agree with him. The UI right now is just so cluttered, there's a lot of things on it, and this is one of my main changes that I have been asking for quite a while now, is some changes to the user interface in this game. Now, the developers have been saying there are some changes in the works from the UI, but for the past few months, they've just been adding some things that no one really asked for. No, I get what they are trying to do with it. They added some different signs that pop up, like we are gaining reinforcements and stuff, but personally, I'm with this dude right here. I like my screen to be completely clean for the most part, besides things like my map and my health bar and all that stuff. But luckily, we did get a response from Ben Walk, as this post did pretty much make it to the front page, got like 2.1 thousand upvotes on the Battlefront Reddit, which is pretty good, and he actually responded saying we do have some UI changes coming in the next update. And honestly, I am really thankful to hear this. The community has been begging them to do some changes for them, but like I said earlier, they have just been adding a lot of stuff, which personally I feel isn't really necessary to the game and just makes things a little bit worse, especially in a game mode like Capital Supremacy, where you have like 3 or 4 objectives on your screen at once, and as you can see in this picture here, it just gets completely cluttered at time, and honestly it takes you away from the immersion of the game. So responding to that comment, the Senate said, "I think having the option to turn certain things on and off would be very useful." And Forge, or Ben Walk, did actually respond to that as well, saying, "Yes, we think so as well." So from these two comments, my best guess is in the next update, which does come early December, I believe the first week of December, there are going to be some options to turn things on and off on the heads-up display or your UI, which I am super thankful for, as it has been one of my top requests for a while now. And a modder is actually working on one right now. I don't know if it's released yet, it might be, but if you are in the Battlefront modding Discord, you will know that a modder is working on one, and he's got pretty much everything laid out perfectly, so you can turn each individual thing on and off. And honestly, I really hope that the developers do something like this instead of having like multiple options at once, like how it is now, where you can either have your heads-up display completely on or completely off, or have it to where you see your scope only. I hope they add each individual thing like this modder has done. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on this. Hopefully they do listen to the community on what they want, and it actually seems that that is the way that they are going with this. Okay, so now let's talk about the chances of Mandalorian content. Now this is going to be kind of disappointing to a lot of people, including myself, because I just watched the first episode, as did many others, yesterday, and I immediately thought, man, so much content from this could be used for Battlefront 2 and would be super cool. Things like IG-11, the Mandalorian himself. Now for him, I don't know if he would be like an anti-hero almost, where he's not really a villain, but he's not a hero either. He's kind of a neutral one. I think that'd be cool. But a user on Twitter called Older Than Joel replied to Ben Walk's tweet talking about how it would be really good for all of us to stay home on Friday because we are all going to be sick, of course, not because Fallen Order got released. But he actually said, "What are the odds of any Mandalorian content being added to Star Wars Battlefront 2? And Ben Walk unfortunately responded saying there are no plans. Now, of course, this isn't saying there's never going to be Mandalorian content ever. That's just right now they have no plans of adding it, which is unfortunate to me. I am disappointed to hear that, because like I said, after I watched the first episode, I really love the show so far, and I'm just thinking of all the different possibilities of content for Battlefront 2. But of course, they are focusing on the Rise of Skywalker update, which is said to be the biggest update yet, so I guess it does kind of make sense that they don't really have plans for Mandalorian content right now. Now, we do know that there is going to be 2020 content, so I don't think we should just lose all hope on Mandalorian content, but at least for now, we shouldn't really have it in the back of our minds, expecting it to come sometime in the near future. Just my personal guess is at the beginning of 2020, I'm talking like February or so, I believe that's when Season 7 of the Clone Wars does get released to Disney+, Plus, I believe the DICE team will be working hard to add in some Clone Wars content. It is possible that Ahsoka Tano and Asajj Ventress are in the works, as many months ago we did see voice lines of General Grievous talking to Ahsoka. Of course, nothing is confirmed, but my guess has always been they are going to release those two characters alongside the release of Clone Wars Season 7. I just think it makes sense for them to do that. But as always, these are just my thoughts. So that is pretty much going to do it for today's news update. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you guys wanting Mandalorian content? Are you completely fine with DICE saying they don't have any plans right now, and you'd rather them work on other things like the Rise of Skywalker update, which we are getting? Or do you want them to start going back to the Clone Wars in 2020? Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. But that is pretty much going to do it for today's kind of shorter news update. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, be sure and leave a like. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you're new, subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one.